Welcome to all of our Arsenal. Today we're going to have a very lovely time together with my fellow panelists. To stream. I'm trying to add my other panelists for them to join us right now. For some reason, I'm still waiting for them to join. So today we'll be basically discussing about how Arsenal fared in the Premier League. We're still waiting for two other panelists to join us.
Thank you, Andy.
Okay, Uche.
Yeah. Welcome.
How's your day, bro? We have Chooks that just joined us as well. Welcome, Chooks.
Thank you. Very happy to be here.
Awesome. So we're still expecting one more panelist, and that's Tino Luke. But I think he'll probably join us soon and we could hit the ground running. So basically, this is what the review show is going to be all about. We're going to start with Arsenal's match review. Then we're going to start with Arsenal's match review. Then we're going to have a quick overview of our title rivals to see how, they paired. We still have some folks in the chat. We have Kelechi asking why I'm hiding in the corner. Kelechi, how you doing, bro? Good to see you on the chat. We have X Nedu, who says that the other panelist doesn't have light. Crazy. So we're gonna look at our other rivals, see how they fared up in the games. We'll now look at check out some surprises that happened during the week. We'll also review some players of the week. And look at the Premier League table update as well as what's next at Arsenal. So just 1 second, let me try and add to Luke. He's in the background, I think. I'm not seeing him yet. Okay. So basically, I think we should start with Arsenal. What did you guys think about the game? Let me start with you, Chooks.
I think you guys went all out to make sure you had a good start. After seeing what Man City and Liverpool had already done in the previous days, right? So you needed to come all out to make sure you started off with a victory, because if you did not, then I imagine how long of a season you'd be having with maybe a draw or a loss tonight. So I think it was good to have that victory, and even though it wasn't one of your best performances, but kudos to you guys for grinding that out.
Thanks, Chooks. So we have Tino, who has just joined us in the chat. Welcome, Tino. How are you doing, brother?
I'm good. Good to be here. Good results. Maybe the performance isn't the best, but well, that's what I'm used to. When we go to Old Trafford, I call it the Old Trafford syndrome. No matter how how much form we have, whenever we go to Old Trafford, it's usually a very difficult match. And I told a lot of Arsenal fans in the build up to this match that they have a new spring in their steps. By interacting with a lot of United fans on social media, the build up to this game was a lot about there's a new spirit. They prepared very much for this game. They actually, felt they were going to win, and they could have. So it's really it happens that fortunately Arsenal had the defensive nose slots, but games there's not much to analyze. You just take the time, and I'm happy we were able to do that.
Oh yeah, it was a scary game. There was actually a point when I actually wanted to use the restroom, but I was so scared that if I leave, I probably would have missed out on the equalizer. It was that bad.
Mhm.
So Uche, what do you think about the game?
Um, 3 points at Old Trafford is always welcome, and all the while we've ever won at Old Trafford, it's always been 1-0. 6 times since it's been christened the Premier League, all 6 times it's been 1-0. But as an Arsenal fan, I was not happy with the way Arsenal played. I expected to see more cohesion from the boys, especially when you clock that we had just two new players in the starting XI, Gyökeres and Zubimendi. Was that enough to disrupt the usual balance of the boys? Or if you couple that in with the new season, and I checked across the other games, Chelsea struggled, Liverpool pulled off a last minute win, a new system and all, but they had about four players who just came into the team, right? So I know it's early days. I love the 3 points. That was what was required, but I'm not happy about the way we played. Not because we didn't go about destroying Man U, but because we didn't even do the basics right. We don't give up this much possession in the midfield. It doesn't happen. It doesn't just happen. Even in games we've lost, we don't do that. But today it was commonplace. But as I said, early days, so not panic mode yet. But after the game, I saw Mikel. His face was straight. His face was straight, and in the interview, he even said it that the boys know they didn't do well. So that's good. They know they didn't do well, but that 3 points is very important. I remember in 2017 when Alexander Lacazette was in Arsenal, Man U beat us 3-1. De Gea pulled off about 14 saves in the game. Nobody ever told me Arsenal played better. So when I'm talking to the rivals, 3 points. When I'm talking to fellow Arsenal fans, we should have played a lot better.
Well, as long as we got 3 points, I'm okay because trust me, the way the game was going, it looked like we
It
actually
was
steamed.
scary.
Yeah, it was actually
It was
very scary.
scary.
So I want to ask you guys one quick question before I go to the next team. What was your most scariest one? I'll start with you, Tino.
Okay, so for me, I have a different view because I have to pair this what is happening with what happened last season. We are trying to win the Premier League title here, I believe. Okay, so Manchester United away for me has always been. You can also call it PTSD. It's just a game I don't like
No, we
going to
struggle.
watch, and no matter how good the team is. So in the build up to this game, I was never, confident we're going to do it, win. I knew that Arsenal had a better team, but it just happens that anytime we get to Old Trafford, there's something that happens on that ground. I've seen so many things happen there that I can't explain it. So when we go to Manchester United, I look forward to us just doing
Three
the
points.
best and getting out with points. I know that Manchester Arsenal will not play this way against in the next game or subsequent. It's not like you said, like Chooks I think mentioned earlier. It's just not something you see from the Arsenal to be outplayed in midfield in the manner that we suffered today. So
Yeah.
with moments that were scary, I think I didn't want in the start of last season, some of the issues we had with injuries and red cards, I didn't want any of that. So when Ricardo Calafiori
Mhm.
was given a yellow card, I was a bit, touchy about it. I didn't want any subsequent yellow or having, that was all. That was really basically the only issue I think I had going in my mind. Let's not sustain an injury and let's not pick
Mhm.
up any unnecessary bookings. But
Okay.
I knew that the team on the pitch had the know-how to grind out results. So I wasn't really when they were in the box. Okay, if you check the stats, they had a lot of shots, but I mean, I wouldn't say there was a threatening, attempt on goal. So Arsenal usually know how to play these teams. It's not something they built today. It's over the past 4 or 5 years. They've learned how to see out teams like this. So it is more about let's not do anything stupid. take any unnecessary cards or
Mm-hmm.
do anything that will get a player injured and will now have to start struggling. So that was basically it. So when Ricardo was subbed and the yellow card was second yellow was gone, I felt better. I knew I was okay with the game, how we
I
played
agree.
it. It's not the
I agree
best
with you.
performance. It's not a performance I want to see again. But in Old Trafford, especially considering we took the 3 points. So that's how I
Yeah.
analyze this. But
Oh, that's cool. So I'm just looking at a comment from Ex Nedu Orlando. Thanks for being in the chat, Ex Nedu. He says we played poorly in sports, lacked cohesion, but in spite of that, we came away with 3 points and a clean sheet. I will take that every day of the week and twice on Sunday. What do you think about that, Uche?
He's spot on. Like, even those of us who are not happy with the performance would take a win. It's just that highlighting the performance is in the context of how you want to see this team play over the course of the season. The question should be, if it was like a better prepared team, would we have gone away with it? Well, 22 shots they let off.
can I
You're not
interject?
understanding. I'm not saying. It's not like they had 8 shots and we had 4.
1 second.
Yeah,
Go
22
ahead.
points, and I think they had about triple the number of shots we had on target. So it's not just that we lost the ball; we let them in. We let them in so easily. It was consensual. Like, we were willing to let them in. There was no sexual harassment here. So that's my worry. Again, if my team plays poorly, I always want the 3 points. Don't get me wrong. We all want it. But then, as footballing people, it will be a miss for us to look away from what we saw.
Absolutely.
Right? We are all happy with the 3 points. The scariest
Okay.
moment for me was when Saliba made that tackle. I tell you most solemnly, if I was a Man U fan, I would be screaming. I would be screaming, VAR, VAR. I would have been screaming my head off because no, that was
Yeah, I
close.
agree with you.
That was close.
So Tino, do you want to respond to the comment before I get to Chooks?
Did you prompt me?
Tino,
Yeah, Tino.
I thought you said you wanted to interject him initially.
Yeah, no. Like I think I think we should let the show flow. But what I was about to say was that it's pretty much. So we know Arsenal. We know when we see one-off performances. We know we are going to rock up under the sun in Emirates next weekend and slap Leeds all over the place. So when we see this sort of a performance, and if you are going to win a league title, you are not going to be on top of your game. 38 games. Nobody does that. So our fixture list, the way we are going to start the season league is very difficult. So Old Trafford away, we were set up to be scorned and laughed at today. You understand? Because this is what happens when you start the league, you go to Old Trafford where you usually don't have a good record, and you suffer.
I'm
And
fighting
in the
against the refs.
suffering, the suffering. So something happened today. When I knew that we were not going to play our game, I said, okay, let's see who has it in them to dig a result out. So a lot of people look at Martin Odegaard and say, oh, he didn't have his best attacking game, but the guy was fantastic when it was time to dig in
pressing.
and fight.
Yeah.
He kept pressing.
That was
I agree with you.
actually thank Martin Odegaard. Thank over the week a lot of talk was about Tony Adams and when he called out the captain, which I think
terrible,
Tony, I love him. He's a legend, but he was like a drunk man in the bar. So
he was out of place.
The captain fought for the team today, and I was completely impressed with him today. When it was clear we are not going to have an attacking match, Odegaard was in the trenches, digging, fighting. So we should, as much as we appreciate the side of the football where you're attacking, the other team does tactics too. United are also a big team. They prepare for the match, and when they push your backs against the wall, you need to be able to man up, and stand up and give them a game. And that's the way I looked at this game. I'm proud that the boys were able to defend the team and work out of Old Trafford with the points. So if you go on social media now, I'm sure they are the ones having a meltdown instead of us. It would have been the other way around if we dropped the
Yeah.
points or ended up drawing
Yeah,
1-1.
I agree with
So
you.
it's not the performance, the defensive performance was solid, but even more the heart and the spirit the boys showed on in Old Trafford is something that I think we should encourage. We don't want to see this kind of
Okay.
allowing United so many shots, and it's not going to
Yeah,
happen
I agree
again.
with you.
I'm sure of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So true. As a Chelsea fan
Hmm.
watching this game, I know you had a lot of bad belly with you, right? So give us your honest opinion. How did you feel about the game as a Chelsea fan, and what do you think are your prospects when you're going to come up against this type of Arsenal?
Man, I mean, Arsenal just showed how resilient they are as a team, right? I mean, the same Arsenal we've always known, being defensively brutal. Yes, there's a few complaints about how United got too many shots, right? But going to Old Trafford to even see that result and get a clean sheet is a big plus on your aspirations, your end of season aspirations, right? So
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think it was one of those games where the point was more important than the beauty of how you played, right? So I mean, kudos to the boys. But as a Chelsea fan, really, I probably wanted both teams to share the spoils,
Draw.
right? Because a draw would have been a
Yeah, I
perfect,
can imagine
a
that.
draw would have been a perfect result. But I mean,
Yeah.
you guys found a way to grind out that result. United looked really good, if you asked me, and I'm looking forward to see how they'll play against those lower teams. So
Playing
it
from
was a good
desktop or
performance against a very
APK.
defensively astute Arsenal, right? But I'm curious to see how they'll play
Mhm.
against the likes of West Ham, Fulham, Bournemouth. You know, those very stubborn teams that
Yeah, yeah.
you,
We've had crazy results against those
exactly.
kind of things in the
You know, but
Oh,
past.
for you
You know,
guys,
there's a look at this comment from John. He says, "Okay, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, no,
Finish
for
up,
you
bro."
guys to have come out with this result, man, yeah, I think that's really the most important one. It's the first game of the season. We can call it post preseason, you know, and it can only get better from here.
well,
Yeah, and now I think I'm also sharing the same sentiments with John on the comment. He said, "For the performance, Arsenal fans should relax. The team should get better consequently. And mind you, actually, aside from the occasional weak shot, I think that's a good one that Ryan made a save from. So yes, I agree we should relax. This was a game that there was some kind of intensity around it, but at least we came up with 3 points, which is more than what was enough for us. So let's go to the next fixture on the list. This was Liverpool for 2. You know, we're waiting
a cracker.
almost 80 days for the Premier League to return. And the Premier League returned on a Friday night under the night sky. And how did it start? Hugo Ekitike scoring on his debut. Then Cody Gakpo had that awesome chance that he took on a couple of comers and scored 2-0. They were the whole celebrations for Jota and stuff. And just when they thought they were running away with the game, Antoine Semenyo came up from nowhere and popped up with 2 goals before the late drama from Liverpool. So I'll start with you, Tino. This Liverpool squad has shown that they're capable of, repeating what they had done last season. What is your greatest challenge as an Arsenal fan following a team like Liverpool for the Premier League title this season?
Okay, so I was just messaging you that I'll soon need to run because I told you I had another engagement, pre-planned. But
Yes,
let me
yes.
quickly go in on Liverpool. So Liverpool basically, you can look. There are two ways to look at it. They blew a 2-goal lead and now powered up and won 4-2. Okay, so I think defensively Liverpool are a bit suspect, but they have a lot of they've stacked a lot of unicorns up front, and probably gambling that they are going to outgun every other person, even with a not so good defense. And I think it's a big gamble to take in the context of the other teams improving. Last season, Liverpool basically, I mean, they won the league fair and square, but you had Manchester City all over the place. You had Chelsea that found their level much later in this campaign. But everybody, you have like genuine 4 teams. Even Manchester United, in a way, Tottenham. A lot of the poor teams last season have stepped up a level this year. So you don't. You wonder if you blow a 2-goal lead against the Spurs today, whether you are gonna get for an extra 2 goals to win the match. So it's some, and this was at home at Anfield. So I think Liverpool is a curious case. It's left to be seen if this is a trend or something that will continue. But I fancy, Liverpool won the league last year with the least points any champion has had in the last 5 years.
Yeah,
And
I
I
agree.
think this year, those points will probably not get you. It might get you close, but it's not guaranteed. So I think with Liverpool, it's just to be seen. If they power up with what's his name, Isak, I mean, they are going to be favorites. But the way the squad is now, I think they need to throw in some defenders there. Probably sign more squad depth in midfield to give them a better chance.
Yeah.
I think I fancy my chances against Liverpool.
All right.
I
Thanks,
mean,
Tino.
if both squads are equal, no injuries, both squads manage their injury issues, I fancy my chances against Liverpool.
Okay, thank you so much. Told me I'll be about to run out, so thanks for making our time to be part of us.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll have many more
Thanks.
reviews like this on a weekly basis, so we'd like it to be a better.
All right, catch you guys later.
Yeah, cheers, bro.
Nice one,
So,
bro.
Chooks,
Cheers.
let's talk about the Liverpool defense. For some reason, they just had luck with injuries last season, right? Besides Konate and Van Dijk, I can't even think of anyone else that they have. I think just Gomez. Do you think that they need to actually invest in that defense to prepare forward in the league, or do you think they're okay the way they are?
First, they've just signed the new kid from Italy, right? I can't remember his name now,
Yeah.
but yeah, they've just signed. He's
Simeone or something.
yeah, he's 18, but I mean, from the few bits I've seen of the guy, he's probably, I mean, okay to put some
A good
support in there.
talent.
Yeah, he's a good talent. Last season they had the odd injuries here and there. I mean, Gomez was out for a while. Konate was injured for a while as well. But I think what really affected them, I mean, in my opinion, was I mean, for this last game now, must have been Gravenberch's absence, right? He was really top for them last season, and with that pace and his ability to read the game, I think it was missing in the Bournemouth game, right? So maybe we could just lower the expectations from the Liverpool team that played this game. Yeah, it was star-studded, but let's see what they look like with the Gravy in midfield there. Let's see how the new boys begin to also acclimatize to their new environment. Someone like Frimpong, who is known to always run forward, now he's playing as a right back now, and the expectation from him playing as a right back versus how he was playing in Leverkusen as a right wing back, the expectation is different, right? So
Yeah.
just trying to acclimatize to this new environment and a new role. I still fancy them doing quite well this season. Again, assuming they all stay fit, because there are 1 or 2 injuries away from looking as bare as it could be. So yeah, defensively suspect, but going forward, probably one of the best attacks you'd have in Europe. So I'm sure they'll do well against many teams.
Yeah, thank you, Jokes. So, Uche, let's talk about that attack. You already have Hugo Ekitike, who came for like, I think, £69 million. You have Florian Wirtz, one of the best attacking midfielders in the world, behind him. You have Cody Gakpo, who has now found a new lease of life with no threat from the likes of Luis Diaz. And of course, you have the Egyptian king, Mo Salah. Then, word on the street is that you're about to bring out maybe 120 mil or 130 mil to buy Alexander Isak. If, obviously, before the transfer window closes, Isak actually moves to Liverpool, how many goals do you think he would score? That's my first question. Would his attacking prowess affect Salah as a player? And where will Liverpool be at the end of the season?
Liverpool's attack was brilliant last season, thanks largely to Mo Salah. About 50 goals and assists alone by himself.
Down.
In the Premier League, I think he was the highest goal scorer and highest assist at the same time. So if you take away Salah's chunk from the team, you find a massive gap. Salah is 32, and it was a no-brainer that the Liverpool squad needed to refresh the attack. The sales of Nunes and Diaz have funded Ekitike and Vitz to an extent. The much I've seen of Frimpong, he's not being used as a right back. He is used as a right attacking midfielder. That's how high up the pitch he has played whenever I've seen him play. And I told somebody, I said, my problem with signing Frimpong is that if you sign him and use him as a full back, a right back, you will suffer. He's not built for that kind of game. He's built to be on the forefront. So that means the right inside back has to be elite. Konate has refused to extend. Konate,
Yeah, I think he wants to go to Real Madrid.
exactly. And Real Madrid are telling Liverpool, take this amount of money or lose him for free next year. So in my head, Liverpool need to sign about 3 defenders. I would not want to keep a Konate.
wow.
I cannot be a team playing for the Champions League, Premier League, and my starting centre back is not committed beyond the next 9 months. I wouldn't want that.
Well, at least
I would want to sort it out.
Strength.
Yeah, but I would want to sort it out before the season starts.
Okay, so they have been linked with a move for Maguire of Crystal Palace. I don't know how concrete that deal is.
That's very
But have you
concrete.
seen like
Concrete. It's concrete.
That's very concrete.
Oh, really?
And I think
rejected.
yeah, 35 million pounds was rejected. In fact, Crystal Palace are saying they rather keep him than lose him for less than they are quoting at about 50 million pounds.
Yeah,
So
around that.
the thing about Liverpool squad is this, right? Everybody knows they are imbalanced, but if they get like an Isak together with that attack again, it means they will have too much firepower for them to worry about the defense. It becomes like the Real Madrid side of the mid 2000s. They will beat you 7-4. You will see funny scores 5-3, but they will always outscore you. And I think they won the Champions League and the league under Ben Schuster. But for me personally, I wouldn't invest 130 million pounds on Isak. Not because he's not good enough, but if that money allows me to secure a defensive midfielder and a centre back, in addition to the one I've already signed, I would take that as an alternative. If I were Liverpool's owner right now, the attack of Gakpo, Salah, Ekitike, Vets should be enough. Don't forget they have some 2 young boys, Elliot and what's the other Englishman's name? Javier Elliott and there's another Englishman there.
Curtis Jones.
So those are good enough backups. Bringing in Isak in the face of what the squad is looking like right now, I think it's an overkill. Except they already have plans to bring in a defender and they need a defensive midfielder. I feel they do. Honestly, I feel they do.
They have Endo and Gravenberch. Why would they need one more defensive midfielder?
Endo. Would you trust Endo to give you 3 months of consistent football?
Well,
if there was an injury to Gravenberch?
He's a squad player. I mean,
he's a squad player. That's my point.
He's a squad player.
Yeah, but that's okay. It's okay to have a squad player. Who's your own squad player in Arsenal? Isn't it?
Norgard.
Yeah.
No. You're talking about Norgard. Norgard has given us 6 straight years in the EPL.
I know.
He plays for his national team. He's not a slouch. I am saying that if Gravenberch gets injured. If Gravenberch gets injured,
enough for Stuttgart and he was consistent for them.
Yeah, but we watched Endo struggle last season. We watched him struggle. We all saw that. It's not like the season didn't happen. We saw it in short at the point, and his slot refused to use him anymore. We saw that. Yeah, so true. Gravenberch has now said Gravenberch was injured last season. I think he's injured again. Why are you not thinking of?
No. He was
He
suspended.
was
No, he was
oh,
suspended
fine, suspension. That's fine. So
from last
you
season.
haven't bet an
So
Endo.
he'll be back in midweek.
See, I don't feel there's enough sturdiness in that midfield. I may be very wrong, but I don't feel there is. I don't feel there's enough
Okay, so let's
sturdiness.
talk about Bournemouth. They were ravaged this summer.
Yeah,
They lost
they are still
their
being
best left
ravaged.
back in to Liverpool. They lost Ilya Zabani to PSG. They lost Dean Howson to Real Madrid. I think there are two other people that they also sold.
They lost Kepa to
I think they have
Arsenal.
maybe one or two signings. Oh yeah, they lost
Four
Kepa as
of the
well. Well,
five
Kepa
starting defense is gone.
Yeah.
4 of the 5
although
is
he wasn't
gone.
there to begin with, though. But then again, they have made some astute replacements. Truffert came in as the left back.
Yeah.
Diakite had his debut. He wasn't bad. So my question is, where do you guys think Andoni Iraola would finish this season? Chooks, mid-table, or will he go for Europe?
I think mid-table, anywhere between 9th and 13th. That's where I see them finishing. I feel like he's a very good manager who will always grind results from whatever he has at his disposal. So with what I saw them put out against Liverpool, I fancy them doing 9th to 13th place finish this season. Despite losing all the players you've said they've lost, right? But they've tried with a few replacements. I still see them trying to get a few centre backs. They are looking at the likes of Achembong in Chelsea. They've been linked to him recently, and a couple of other names I can't remember now. But I fancy them to steal some points away from those big boys and ruffle feathers with those around their skill level. So very good team if you ask
Yeah,
me.
I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah. So, but Uche,
Yeah.
in attack, Richard Evan Nielsen, he came from Porto with some form of reputation, but I don't think he lived up to it last season. He even lost penalties to Justin Kluivert, who was kind of like the penalty taker going forward. Would you think Evan Nielsen has enough in the tank to like at least fire those kind of goals that he used to do? Because you remember before he was Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka even had 19 goals in a club like Bournemouth. So can
That's
Evan
true.
Nielsen
That's
do
true.
something like that this season?
So I don't know if Evanescence can score 19 goals, but I think he did up to 10 goals last season. That's
Just
not
12.
that's 12. That's not a number to scoff at.
That's
That's a very
that's
good number.
that's not bad at all. Yeah.
That's a
Oh, okay.
very good number for your first season in the Premier League, right? That's his first season.
hmm
So that's
Yes,
a
the
very
first
good
season,
number.
yes.
And the good thing is that Andoni Iraola platforms his attackers to shine, whoever
Yeah.
they may be it Otara, be it Semenyo, he platforms them to shine. I'm surprised that teams did not come calling for Semenyo.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
think that's where the
Yeah,
issue.
I think he signed a new contract. That was why.
Enigi, there was a time last season I was screaming for Arsenal to get him because he does the 2-leg thing. He plays on the right and the left,
Yeah.
and very powerful shots. But
Yeah.
again,
Okay, so you're saying if they give you Semenyo and Madueke, who do you choose?
so this is it, right? If I wanted, if I wanted if I wanted a player to be in a team as a disruption.
Hello?
I think his network is down.
Okay, I think we've lost him.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah, you're back. Go ahead.
Okay. So for an Arsenal team, Mikel will always go a Madueke over a Semenyo. Semenyo is like a maverick, He does everything. He's not a player you can really say be positionally aware. That's not how he plays if you watch him. But if you put him in Arsenal and platform him correctly, that guy is trouble, man. He has space, he has power, and then he tracks back.
Yeah. I
10
wanted to
over 10, you
Yeah.
always see him falling back. So in my head, if he was available for a purchase, would he have been bad? No. So one-on-one, both of them, I'll take Semenyo. But in the long run, I think Madueke will have a better career. There's this thing with African players. So that's just where I'm going to stop for that one. The thing with African players,
Okay.
they will sparkle for 3 seasons and then all of a sudden it will be like juju. You don't go see them again.
Okay, so let's move to the next game, Man City versus Wolves. I think Pep Guardiola is back. It doesn't know as if he was out in the
He
first place,
never
but
left.
the game it was like a white coat. He never left actually.
Act like
Never.
he never left.
Ellen Haaland, as expected, scored 2 goals. Tijani Reinders scored as well, and Ryan Cherky. So it's interesting to see how there was no Kevin De Bruyne, there was no Phil Foden, there's even no Gundogan, but the team gelled so well with these new signings. So, Chuck, let me ask you this question. With all the signings that Manchester City has made this summer, as well as the ones they made in January, remember in January they bought Kushanov, they bought Victor Reis, they bought Nico Gonzalez, they
Mamouche.
bought Omar Mamouche. Now you now have the likes of Ryan Cherky, you have Ait Nouri, you have Tijani Reinders adding to their ranks. Is this like an overload? Do you think they can gel in time to become the dominant force that Man City is known to being, or do you think they will need some time to adapt?
I mean, watching them from the Club World Cup, right? You could see that they were already trying to get some chemistry because they bought these players early, right? So we've already seen them even before the Premier League, and they were already trying to build that chemistry. And compared to the season they had, sorry, the players they had last season, I feel like they've injected the much needed firepower. They missed Rodri, in my opinion, and I feel like his injury was the
Mm-hmm.
biggest problem, right? But it opened up other
Yeah,
problems that were within the squad in terms of the aging profile of the squad, in terms of maybe the weakness and how they can't meet up with the pace anymore. So the likes of Reinders coming in to replace Gondogan, the likes of Nuri now, who is probably more stable than Ake, who is bit part, you know. So they've injected that
yeah,
much needed pace and the much needed firepower. They've also added goals to the players.
They're
So
right.
people like Reinders, who came with what 20 plus goal and assist last season. Someone like Turkey,
yeah, for AC
Who was
Milan.
one of the best creators in Europe last season. So even I'll say their signings have gone under the radar, right? You won't compare their signings to the
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
signings of
Yeah, they're not
Liverpool.
like star power
Yeah, yeah,
signings.
because
True.
they've not overspent, right? But I feel like those are very smart signings. They did them and did them in time, and they've come in and they are beginning to show the work. And you don't want to ever have Pep as an underdog, right? So people have put Pep under the radar because they had that very poor showing last season. So everybody's talking about Arsenal versus Liverpool, and you rarely hear Man City in the mix, but Pep is Pep, man, and I feel like he's going to he's going to do some real surprise
Yeah,
this season. The
yeah.
only problem is I don't still think they are defensively solid. That's the only worry.
Mm-hmm,
But if
mm-hmm.
If Rodri can come back up to speed, and come back in the mix, then he'll provide that much needed show for the back line. Otherwise, if they play serious teams, I think they're going to really test that defense.
Okay, so let's talk about Wolves. I'll speak to you, Uche, about this. Is this finally the season they get relegated?
If Wolves don't relegate this season, it will be a miracle. And I'm not just talking about off the back of the game on Saturday. Look at that squad. You sold last summer. You sold Neto. This summer you sold Cunha. These are your best players.
And like
And
Nori,
I know so you're selling your best players back to back. And the problem is that the quality of replacements has
terrible.
not proven to have
Yeah.
that quality. So it's not like selling is bad. Like I tell people that the reason an Anthony Reala can sell players after 1 or 2 seasons for huge amounts is because he developed a system that platformed them well, right? And he's buying players who are
Mm-hmm.
even fitting right in. But look at Wolves.
Yeah, no, that,
In the first half, they were stubborn. They could have hurt City a lot before City scored the first goal.
yeah. They actually scored a goal that was
A lot.
cancelled for offside. Munetsi.
Yeah, even within
Yeah.
from the 15 minutes to the before City scored, Wolves should have gotten 1 or 2 goals if they were serious enough. But the moment City scored, they just crumbled. So I worry for Wolves. They have 2 weeks left in the window. I really worry for them. There are a couple of positions they need to look at in the attacking positions, especially. They need 1 or 2 spark, right? They need 1 or 2 spark. Lin's what's that their striker's name? Lin that
Strand
Lassen,
Larsen.
Strand Lassen.
yeah, String Larsen. He tried last season actually. I've watched him play. He's not a bad player. He's physically apt for the league and he puts himself about. But I was looking at him last season and I realized that he needed a whole lot of service. That has not been addressed.
Yeah.
So they need to address
Yeah,
those.
but then again, prior to last season, he worked with Cunha, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this season, Wolves signed Arias from Fluminense. Arias had a very good Club World Cup.
Mm.
And I think he's just someone that we should be on the lookout for. So, Chooks, what do you think about Arias?
Yeah, so I mean, I was going to mention Arias. Arias is a brilliant footballer, right? We saw how good he was in the Club World Cup, one of the best players from that tournament. But like Uche has said here, they've sold Cunha, they've sold Nuri, and they've replaced with someone who is coming from outside Europe. First of all, let's not even say outside
Yeah.
EPL,
England.
outside Europe, right? So it will take a
Mm-hmm,
while.
mm-hmm.
No, I don't. I mean, the Brazilian league is quite intense, as we saw during the Club World Cup. But it will still take him a while to, find his place in the league and, become that name that Cunha eventually became. I mean, it took Cunha how many seasons before he began to shine. So I don't have much expectations from him this season. And the fact that they've sold those players, even their captain Semedo left on a free.
The medal left on a free. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
So
worrisome.
so
And I feel
the
yeah.
fact that they've sold those players and really haven't replaced with, proven people. Because
Quality.
yeah, I know quality. I would say they replaced with quality. Arias is quality, but I don't think he's proven in Europe. Not to talk of the league, right? So that's where the worry is, and I don't think Uche is wrong to predict that they will be relegating this season. I fancy that too.
Okay. So this is what I talk about.
Do we have
It was a snooze fest
do we have
at the bridge.
Okay. So let's see. You see this game. Let's not even waste time about this game. I have a question for Chooks. Chooks, would you have fancied a Nicholas Jackson in this game?
okay. I'll answer truthfully. So Jackson, I've always said it in any platform. I feel like Jackson outside the box is one of the best players you'd have, right? Because he's great with holding up, linking up, and all of that. But within the box, he's one of the worst players you can have because he doesn't even know how to shoot and he doesn't have a left leg. But in this game, I don't think the problem we had was Jackson. The problem we had in this game was fitness generally, right? Someone like Enzo, for
Yeah.
example, has had just 45 minutes prior to today, right? He didn't play the Leverkusen game. I was at Stamford Bridge for the last game against AC Milan, and he played just 45 minutes, right? So yeah,
Right.
you're thinking, okay, why doesn't Maresca want to start those who have had more minutes, who are probably at
To have built up fitness.
in a better physical shape than Enzo? Because if you watched Enzo in that game, for example, and I'm sorry I'm picking him out, but I think he was the most obvious one. If you watched him in
He
that
struggled.
midfield, yeah, he struggled. He struggled to keep up with the
He
pace.
couldn't catch his breath.
Yeah, and he even came back. He came back a bit overweight. You could see the
Yeah.
cheeks all popped up and all of that. So,
Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't want to talk about that because
yeah,
it's a very dicey topic when players are overweight. But
yeah,
clearly, Enzo struggled with fitness. But
yeah.
okay, so if you were Maresca, give me how you would have started that game to engineer a victory.
So in this game, right, I would have started with a player like Santos because Santos has had more minutes. I
Okay.
would have started. I would have
In
started
place of James.
in place of Enzo. Enzo has had just 45
Oh,
minutes.
okay. Oh, you're talking Andre Santos.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Andre
The
Santos.
Okay,
midfielders.
okay. The
Yeah, the
midfielder,
midfield.
yeah.
So Enzo partners. Sorry, Santos partners Caicedo, right?
Okay.
In the
Yeah.
midfield there. Then I would have started with Estevao because Estevao also has had more minutes. He played
As a
76 minutes.
10 or as a right
No,
winger.
as a right winger, while
Okay,
Right
okay.
Gittins
winger.
Gittins will be on the bench. So Estevao on the right, Neto on the left.
So I have a question then
Yeah.
for you, Chooks. What's up with Kopama and getting lost? That he was in an entity pretty much. He went to the Club World Cup final and had an amazing performance. But prior to that, I think he has scored just one goal in like 16 games or so. This game we watched today, he was so lost.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't expect this from him. Is it that consistency is not becoming a thing, or has it become too complacent?
Yeah, and so I think we can cut the entire team some slack, right? If the team played well and Palmer was missing, then I would say, oh, Palmer, like we can always call him out, right? But the entire team was flat, and that's due to the lack of preseason they've had, right? I watched the game against Leverkusen and I came out boasting. I was like, I can't believe we were this physical against Leverkusen on our first game of preseason, right? But looking back in hindsight, I feel like the Leverkusen game or the manager was or the team was poorly coached, right? And made Chelsea look so good. So when after the AC Milan game, despite us winning 4-1, I came back saying this Chelsea team is not fit enough, right? We won the game 4-1, but you could clearly see that we struggled to catch up with AC Milan despite playing with 10 men, right? So I, again, thank God the fixtures favor us a bit in these first 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 game weeks, right? So if our fixture was as tough as Arsenal's, for example, then we'll probably be dead by game week 5 because
Yeah,
you know
yeah. So there's a comment
the
from Jide
mhm,
Fatineku.
yeah,
Panos, nice to have you in the chat. He said Crystal Palace was solid. We have to recognize that viewpoint.
was
So let's talk Palace.
No,
That formation that Glasner
Enigma.
uses.
Sorry, before you talk Palace, you guys should not forget that Cole Palmer is just 20, right?
not it's 23.
He's 23. Okay, okay.
Okay,
Well,
we didn't hear
so
you. What did you
see,
say?
at 23, I don't expect a player to be consistent every season, especially an attacking player, right? Those dips are always there. If you look at the trends of even the greats, they play well while the whole world have an explosive season, then they have that small dip. But because they still have quality, they'll still be churning in the numbers that make them stand out. Like Upama now, he may have been poor for a while, but if you drop the numbers, he's looking respectable among his peers because it's
Mhm,
Kopama. The likes of the Bukayo Saka, the Viniciuses. Vinicius last season was atrocious
yeah.
by
Yeah.
his standards. By his standards. Some people will
Like,
have that
like,
kind of
like
season. And people will say, wow, such a fool. If Sancho does what the Vinicius did last season, another season again, they'll drop 60 million on his head. So we have to recognize that these players are exceptional. So maybe sometimes we judge them harshly. Now, if Cole
Okay.
Palmer was 28, that's where I will be worried. Because at that point, he should have gotten to his peak. I will say the same thing for
Okay, fair
Palmer,
enough.
as I'll say for Saka, as I'll say for Vinicius. These are players I think that are in that class. That no matter how bad it is, you just know that they are going to deliver. Palmer is
Okay.
inevitable.
That makes sense. That makes sense. But then again, I think Crystal Palace has to be recognized, as Babajide actually said,
Solid game.
yeah,
because
Solid game from
for
them. In
quite a
fact,
while there. Mhm.
Chelsea, they were lucky. VAR, right? You guys
Oh
are
yeah,
telling me that that's a rule?
it is pretty cool.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
but one thing that comes to mind is that Crystal Palace have been very consistent. First of
Mm.
all, with the same formation they've used, three at the back, Lacroix, Guehi,
Going.
Richards.
yeah.
You have the midfield of Kamada and maybe Watson or
What
Bemba.
my
Then you
boy.
have the wing back. Yeah, you have your wing backs of Munoz and then of
And
course the
Mitchell, yeah.
three-pronged attack of Mateta, Eze, and Sa. So Chooks, let me ask you this question. Eze has been under speculation for a move to Tottenham. If he moves, do you think a player like Bilal El Kanous will be able to repeat what he has done in Crystal Palace?
Mm. Hell can lose.
Nah. So some players like Easy are not. You can't just replace them with just anybody because they have that attacking quality, right? Easy is like the enigma of the team. Do you get? He's so maverick that anybody you are getting will probably need time to build his profile to become that easy. Easy came into Palace and you could see he was that star boy quality, but what kind of numbers was he dropping in his first season? Maybe 4 goals, 2 assists, that kind of stuff, right? But he's grown
Yeah.
into that role as
Kept
being,
improving.
yeah. So now he's giving you double figure goals, double figure assists, and that's the quality he has now. He's what, 27, 28. So I don't see anybody coming in to replace those numbers immediately. There are talks of Palace trying to get this guy from Club Brugge. I can't remember. I think this is
El
Zolis or something.
Canusi.
No, Panusi is Leicester. This
That's
one
it.
is from Club Brugge. Yeah, there were links to the guy this season, but the boy scored like 23 goals last season and about 16 assists thereabout. So
Oh
double
yeah,
figure
I
That's
think
goals.
I
it.
remember.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and
So,
it's 23. But
mhm, so
I don't think that kind of player comes to the Premier League and delivers the kind of
oh, of
Instant
numbers
course,
impact.
of course, of course.
or performances that Eze will give you. No, it's impossible. It's
Okay.
impossible. So yeah, that's a top player there.
Yeah, I agree. So let's look at Aston Villa versus Newcastle. Newcastle has just had a terrible summer. Tried to get in Buemo, they couldn't. Tried to get João Pedro, they couldn't. Tried to get Shesko,
They
they couldn't.
couldn't.
Like despite being in the Champions League and having supposed Saudi money, they have been in the trenches, and it's very strange. Then you now have the likes of Alexander Isak, who has basically claimed that he doesn't want to play for them anymore, and they'll be using Anthony Gordon, who has not scored in his last 21 games,
Ooh.
as their centre forward. So, what do you think is happening at Newcastle? Is Luan Wissa the answer?
Hmm. Okay, so let me tell you something about the Newcastle situation, right? I'm happy it's happening to Newcastle.
Right?
Whenever the players now they turn up their shitty mood, they badger us, blows like these guys are they're born, physically intimidating. But on a more serious note, too, the thing is this: Newcastle have money, but I don't think their strategy was well mapped out this summer. I'm not excusing Isak. And I don't know what Isak and his agent did because the best time for Isak to be this stubborn was before Liverpool signed Ekitike,
Yeah.
not after.
Yeah,
Not after, especially because you have a 3-year contract,
left.
not one, not two, three. You've gone on strike. If the club finds you and take you to court, the club is right. You have not agreed any release clause. Now you've messed up the move in such a way that even if it doesn't work out, how do you go back to the team?
Yeah, to be
How?
embarrassing,
How do you go back to the team? So you've burned all the bridges when the solution was not ready. People who burn bridges had their solutions in hand before they burn the bridges. You didn't have it in hand. Newcastle have all the shots right now. In fact, a repeat of what happened with Van Dijk may happen with Liverpool. Liverpool had to publicly apologize to Southampton for Van Dijk all those years ago, and they may end up doing the same thing again.
Oh, yeah, yeah, remember.
If they want their man, Newcastle can be cheeky and say, "Okay, go and apologize," just because, which is what
All right.
Southampton did all those years ago.
Mhm.
So Isak has messed that up. Now let's put that aside. Newcastle have been struggling for attacking backup for more than a season. Whenever Isak is out, they struggle. Last season, at the point, Isak was out and Wilson was also out. Now
Yeah, they have to use Osula.
Wilson has left the squad. And you are telling me they should just open their arms and let Isak go? It doesn't work that way. They need to find
Yeah,
replacements.
but if someone doesn't want to be with you, there's no point because he will not give you his all anymore.
That's
So why
fine,
would you
but
bother?
but he has a contract. Is Isak willing to take the next 3 years of his life on the bench? See, I tell you, if you were some coaches, Isak wouldn't try that. If you were Mourinho, he wouldn't dare. He will be begging. See, I don't like it when corporations mess up with these players, but we need to admit that Isak has not gone about this the right way. You had time. You and your agents had time to hand in a transfer request. Why wait? And now, whatever happens, Newcastle summer will be shadowed by this talk of Isak. Attacking wise, they are not there. They need attacking cover, and they need more than Wissa. Wissa can guarantee 15 Premier League goals and assists, but they need more than that. If Isak leaves,
Yeah.
who are they bringing? That's the big
Mhm.
question. Who's coming
So
in?
yeah. So speaking of cover, Aston Villa needs some cover as well. Let me ask you this one. Let me talk to you about this one, Chooks. So you remember what happened in the January transfer window? They were about to sell Oli Watkins to Arsenal.
Mhm.
Then John Duran left for some big bread to Al Nasser in Saudi, and they had to keep him back. But they had Rashford, they had Asensio, who had also gone back. So right now, isn't Villa too lean in attack? And does in Emery use that same squad to challenge for the Premier League and the Europa League?
Nah, I agree with you. They look very light up front, right? And if anything happens to Watkins, for example, they're back to square zero. So I totally agree with you that they need serious reinforcements. They can't go into all three, four competitions with what they have now. And like you said, they've lost Asensio, Rashford, John Duran. So they need to replace with quality, and not just replace. They need to replace with quality. For the aspirations they have. I heard Emery speaking the other day, and he's saying they're aspiring to do better than seventh, right? So they have ambitions to
Yeah.
want to break into top five, top four. Okay, if you have to do that,
Mhm.
then you need to get quality
Put your
reinforcement
money
to
where
be
your
able to
mouth
do that.
is.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't think they do that with what they have currently. Watkins, very good player. But if anything happens to him now, I worry for Villa seriously. They looked really, really out of place against
Yeah.
Newcastle, and if Newcastle had a good uh, forward replacement, or anybody just to cover Isaac and Wilson, they might have had that odd
And
goal
I
and
popped it.
gone away with a victory. Yeah, so Villa is looking suspect. Hopefully they get to replace very quickly, and end their window very nicely.
Yeah. So this is a word from Babajide. He says the Magpies may need to change their strategy and invade the market aggressively, like fellow sugar daddy.
Aggressively.
They
so
should let
so I have an
Isaac
opinion. I
go.
think on
Okay.
that one, right? I think Newcastle messed up too, right? I think they
In what
also messed
sense?
up. Yeah, in the
Oh, they
sense that
did. They
yeah, in the
actually did.
sense they knew Isaac wanted to leave, right? From pillars we have, Isaac already informed them as at the end of last season that he wanted to leave. So that was why Newcastle wanted to get Ekitike, right?
ATK
So they wanted to get Ekitike as the
Mm-hmm.
replacement so that they can
or
now,
Isaac.
they will be comfortable enough to sell Isaac. But the way they went about going for Ekitike when Liverpool I mean, the rumors of Liverpool wanting this Isak was already out there. There was a lot of shadiness around, the move. You were trying to ruffle feathers with Liverpool for Ekitike, but you are telling them Isak is not for sale. There's no way you want to spend 80 million on Ekitike and you also keep Isak. There's no way you
But
want to have both of
should
them
Yeah.
because
Liverpool
It's
not
not work.
should
Yeah.
Liverpool not have had a gentleman's agreement with Newcastle? See, I believe if you want to buy my commodity, you
Gentlemen's
have to.
agreement
but
are not
You
real
know,
no
I
more.
yeah,
felt
but
I
but
felt
they
that's what would
said
have happened
he's
though.
not for sale. They
No,
they
of
told
course.
them off in the
Oh, no,
first instance. He's
Shooks,
not for
we've heard
sale.
this. Southampton released a public statement saying Van Dijk was not for sale. I released a public statement saying Van Dijk was not for sale.
Uh-huh.
Roma's DOF Monchi went to Sky Sport and told Sky Sport that Allison was not for sale. Clubs say that
Yeah.
all the time. What it means is give me a amount I cannot say no to. It's simple.
Refuse. Yeah.
When a
Mm-hmm.
marketer puts his wares and tells you that he doesn't have price for it, you can walk in and bargain. The worst you can get is a no. So I don't.
Yeah. True. True. True.
I felt Liverpool wanted to get both Isak and Ekitike. I felt so, and in my head, if that is the case, then you should have gone about the deal very discreetly. It
Mm.
became public knowledge. So in all this,
Yeah.
it's not. I tell people, it's not the first time Liverpool have been embroiled in this kind of transfer disaster. We saw it with
I said
Allison. We
Caicedo.
saw it with Caicedo. So Liverpool, they are the big
even
boys. You
Lavia.
always thank you. Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Even
see, you
Lavia
were
as
there
well.
with
True.
Lavia. So it's not the first time. But you know what I like Liverpool? If they
Yeah.
feel,
Chelsea, they're always bullies
yeah,
all the time.
if,
Bullied
Liv-
us for Mudrik.
if
Now.
Liverpool feels a player is worth the amount, they will pay. Case in point, Van Dijk 75 million pounds about 10 years ago. So I think Liverpool
Mm-hmm.
don't think Isak is worth 150 million pounds. I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
They don't think he's worth that
Okay. So
amount
now
of
let's
money.
look. Yeah, I don't think he is too. I think maybe one I think 100 mil is okay for Isaac. And I know he has
Now,
done well, he's been consistent, but I don't think he's a
definitely
150
good
mil
enough.
striker. Hell no.
Chooks, what do you say? Chooks, how much do you
No,
call?
he's definitely good enough to break Vert's record. So maybe 120.
Okay.
120
And
max. Yeah.
rumor has it that Liverpool dropped 120 plus 10 million pounds add-on, and it
No,
was
no,
still
it was
rejected.
110. It was 110 plus 10.
Okay,
There's a
110
110
plus
plus
10.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and since then they've gone ahead to sell both Nunes and Diaz. So they,
Yes.
if they really wanted him, they could also as well sell Elliott, make it 130, and bring in a young player from Spain or Italy to be a backup somewhere on the wings, and that's it.
So because Isaac,
That's
sorry,
fine.
we're taking too long on this one, but I think because Isaac has come out publicly, right, with the rioting and all of that,
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Liverpool feel they have
I'm
leverage,
meeting Messi.
right? They
Oh,
feel they have
okay,
leverage,
and
and that's
and
why
that's where
they've taken the back seat now.
Newcastle feels slighted. You've
Exactly.
come out publicly to do this and take a strike and leave training under
Exactly.
contract. So you're telling the negotiators that don't worry, I'm already out, right? You're reducing
Yeah,
your value.
but I think the most stupid thing that happened was when he was training with Real Sociedad.
Why
Why did
would
they
they?
allow him train with them when they
No, no,
compete with
not
them?
even that they
What
allowed
was
him
that
train.
about?
Why? How did that information become public? Like, come on.
Everything is
Oh
public
yeah, come
unless
on,
it
like the
is.
internet,
Do you
like
get
it
like
has always been the
no?
problem.
That's exactly my point, Enigma. You are in the middle of a serious transfer brouhaha. You are on strike from your team in England. Why are you training with another team? See,
That's the next
you
level.
cannot try this with the Daniel Levies and the Laurentises. You won't do it. See, sometimes these players they take liberties. I won't lie to you. You see that part of training with
Mm,
Sociedad, why your own team, three
That
years
was
contract.
next level.
That come on, that is enough for Newcastle to get angry and say, okay, we're not selling anymore. Do your worst.
yeah.
And if it
So
gets
now,
to the court of industrial action, Isaac almost has no defense. You are under
yeah,
contract.
he doesn't actually. I agree. So now let's talk about the stubborn teams in the league. You know, every time you play in the Premier League,
Chooks, I want to tell you
there's
something
always
about these two
this.
teams. The reason he calls them stubborn teams is that he has somehow in the past 2 years accredited Arsenal's lack of title win to these two teams at
Right?
some point in time.
Oh, that's true. Both of
The
them
two
actually.
teams, not even one of them.
That's true. That's true. That's
Man,
true.
like I don't know, Brighton. So Brighton has changed a lot. Losing Joao Pedro was a big bitter pill to swallow. You know, no doubt. But Welbeck didn't start. They used Jorginho Ruta as a false nine. He
I
was
was
decent,
surprised.
won a penalty that O'Reilly took. But in Fulham, what's the deal between this Jimenez and Moniz thing? Well, can't they just like reach an agreement on who the first choice is?
Well, I mean, Jimenez has been in form lately, right? Recent, both for club and country. He ended the season nicely last season, went on international expedition and scored a few goals.
Yeah, and the
So,
Gold Cup, yeah.
yeah, so I feel like he's first choice currently, right? And that's why Newcastle was in the mix for Muniz. I don't know if they're still there as of today, but I know maybe around 2, 3 weeks ago, there were rumors that Newcastle wanted Muniz. I feel like
Mm,
Jimenez is, I mean, he's proven himself in the league. Before the head injury, he was
yeah.
really one of the
Yeah, in
better
Wolves.
strikers
Yeah, he
out
was
there.
on
Yeah,
fire.
in Wolves, exactly. So very two stubborn teams, like you said. On their day, there will be trouble for any of the big teams. Brighton lost a few players as well. Estupinan left to Milan. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
even
Joao Pedro left to
yeah,
Chelsea.
Pedro and Adingra. Adingra is not first choice, but
Yeah,
that's
Dingra
a
as well.
squad player. Also left as well. So I didn't have so much expectations from this game because I couldn't really tell. I mean, these are two teams of equal prowess, so I couldn't really tell who would come out victorious in the game. So
Yeah, I agree.
that's why I
I
wasn't
agree.
even surprised when it was a draw because yeah, it's one of those games.
Fair results. Like
Yeah, fair result
Yeah, I
actually.
fair
agree.
result.
Very fair.
Fair result.
But it was quite fixed. That was a
Oh,
big issue.
90
Yeah, and
plus.
that would have been very painful too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
To
It
Brighton.
was painful to me
Yeah.
personally because I had Verbruggen in FPL. Ugh.
Ah,
Ah,
he was glad for me
in what?
because I had
In which?
Muniz in my FPL.
Are you serious? Who buys Muniz? How did you?
He's
How did you
5.5
end
now.
up?
He's
How
cheap.
did you end? But he's not first choice. So how do you end up
Yeah,
with
he's
a
not first
Muniz?
choice, but he likes the mid-table teams. The
Interesting.
Brightons and Evertons is always
So,
there.
so
I'm
speaking of
taking
not
notes, my
first
brother.
choice, Richarlison against Burnley, that was amazing.
Wow,
That was
brilliant,
amazing. Like, so if Sri Lanka
brilliant.
returns to full fitness, Chooks, do you think that Richarlison will lose his place to Sri Lanka, or will he go to the wing to replace Son?
That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. The thing with being a striker is that momentum has a huge role to play, right? If I don't know when Solanke comes back to full fitness, but if Richarlison goes on this run for the next game, for example, and he probably gets another one, it'll be difficult to bench this kind of player, right? Because he's just scored in the
Mm-hmm.
first game, he's scoring in his second game against City. I mean, Solanke has to do extra double, in training to be able to take the jet off Richarlison. And I think Richarlison's days on the wings are over. He's now a striker. He plays as a nine. He plays as a nine for Brazil as well. So I don't see him as a winger anymore.
Yeah.
So and the
Yeah, but
and
but then again, you have someone like Son that's left the club, and that's gonna leave a very big space on the left wing. So shouldn't he fight for that to allow at least him to remain in the squad consistently?
oh well. I feel like Spurs have enough depth on the wings, right? They've just got Kudus. They're about to
Hell,
get they have
They
well,
got
yeah,
Pell.
Tell is they're about to get
Johnson.
Eze, they have Johnson, they have Kulusevski who is injured. So
Oh,
there's
that's true.
quite
Kulusevski is still there.
yeah, and that's a very good player. So they have quite the depth on the wings, and sometimes the manager will decide to play 3-5-3, 3-5-2 or 3-4-3. And you would have the wing backs occupying that width, so you might not really need wingers
Oh
anymore.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I feel like they have enough depth on those flanks, and maybe the real focus should be in that center forward. Solanke hasn't really proven to be the main person.
No,
So
no.
If Richarlison is doing it now and he keeps up the good work, like I said, then Solanke has serious work to do to get it back.
And
okay.
also
So
Brennan.
mhm.
Sometimes Brennan
Go ahead.
Johnson
Mhm.
plays in that position. They
Yeah,
use him like they use
Mhm.
Son. They use Brennan Johnson like they use Son.
yeah, exactly.
So I think also the form of Brennan Johnson has quietened the need for another attacking addition. After facing attacks last season, he came to his own and had a good run, did well enough. And this season again, I feel he's going to do better. That guy is an intelligent player. He needs to get a bit more physical, but that's a very good player right there. So
Mhm.
Richarlison, I think Richarlison will keep starting even when Solanke is back. The kind of players that Thomas
Mhm.
Thomas Frank likes. Look at the Mbuemos and the Wissans, people that can take the
And
ball and
rugged.
run. Exactly, that's a
He's a
Richarlison
Lambo.
type of football.
That's a Richarlison type of guy.
That's a Richarlison. So I don't see Solanke
Yeah,
having the starting bet if Richarlison is fit. I don't see that.
Yeah.
And
yeah, and even
Richarlison is not a
mhm.
bad player. He just has those moments of madness. You know, he's a very instinctive player. Case in point, the goal he scored yesterday, very instinctive. The one he scored at the Copa America some years back. So he has those things in his locker. He needs a manager that will let him play in a cool state. Be calm. He has a Martinelli problem. He's never calm.
Yeah,
Never. His blood is always on 100,
yeah,
but he needs to be calm. If he achieves that calmness in
yeah,
his
and I
game,
think
he's going to do a lot.
yeah, yeah, and I think Babajide also agrees with your comment. He's saying that Frank cannot even try. Richarlison keeps that spot, and he can't take away the swagger. He had been hot since
Mm.
preseason. So my question to you, Uche, is this: will Burnley be relegated, or will Burnley be relegated? And when they get relegated, will they be 20th?
Burnley will go. Again, like the last time they came, I was shocked about their recruitment. Now, again, I'm still more shocked because I don't know whether it's a business model. Get the 120 million, come to the league, get the 100 million, relegate. That's 220 million in 24 years. That's big profit. We keep. I don't know whether it's intentional at this point, but for context,
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at the Black Cats. Look at their recruitment. One or two EPL
Yeah,
proven
we'll get there. We'll
players.
get there.
Yeah, so
We'll get to
Burnley,
Sunderland.
but Burnley will go. They will go. I'm tipping them and Wolves
So,
to
so
go.
my first question would be this: Would Scott Scott Parker, is it Scott Parker?
Yeah,
Will he be the first managerial casualty?
maybe not. I
I
think
think once
it
upon a
might
time
be
he was the first some
West
seasons
Ham.
ago. There was a season he was the
But
first to get sacked.
Yeah, he was the first in one season. Yes, I think that was
So
close to 2 years ago.
I
yeah,
think the history book favors him. So my money is on him.
My money is on Potter.
yeah.
Oh, Potter of West Ham.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Yes, Potter always.
that's a good call.
He has really struggled for quite a while. So now let's talk about Nottingham
Yeah.
Forest. So during the
Oh,
preseason, Nottingham Forest played 7 games and 5 were 0-0. And there was so much talk of them, score
struggling.
goals, blah, blah, blah. And they get into the Premier League, and after just 5 minutes, Chris Wood picks up where he left off. I had Chris Wood in my team, sold him last minute
you
for
do.
Watkins. I had.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
so
hard.
right there, I have the
Good.
tears flowing too as well. So for someone like Chris Wood, who is 34 years old, Chooks, let me ask you this question. Do you think he will retain his place to play the entire 38 games like he did last season? Or will the new signing Igor Jesus and someone like Taiwo Awoniyi threaten his minutes?
I think Awoniyi might even leave. Haven't they just gotten someone else again from France? I can't remember. I know they've signed someone from France.
Ndoye.
No, 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 no,
Ndoye is
no,
a
no,
left,
not
is a right
Ndoye. No,
winger.
no. Like if from the French league. Ndoye came from the Italian league. From the French league, I think.
Okay, I know the last two signings were Makati from Man City
Yeah. James
and
McCarthy.
one of them,
Yeah, but I think they've
yeah.
signed a forward player.
They've just picked up are they not done with Douglas Lewis? They are making very interesting additions.
Yeah.
Oh.
So my point is, I don't think Awoniyi will even be in the picture, and whether Wood keeps his place. I mean, again, if he goes tricky, the way he did last season, scoring in every other 2 games or every other game, then
You can't drop him.
Igor Jesus guy will have to really work hard, right? Again, he's coming from outside Europe. He needs to prove himself. Wood is proven, like he is proven. He did
He's
it in
EPL
Burnley.
Mm-hmm.
tested.
Yeah, he did it in Burnley. He's doing it now in Forest, right? So this is a
In
proven guy. I
Nottingham
don't think
Forest,
I don't
yeah.
think it's really about the age. I mean, the older the better, like fine wine, right? So so
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like Wood, and he started off nicely again this season, scoring 2 goals in his first game. Uh, I think he keeps that shirt. Maybe Jesus will manage the odd minutes in Conference League. Are they still? Did they still make it to Conference League? Did they win the
I
case?
think
No. So right now they're in the
I
Europa.
think they
Why
went to the Europa
Christian
League.
Palace in the
Oh,
Conference
I
League?
see, I see. So maybe Jesus will
Yeah, he played in the
focus
Europa
on
games
Europe.
probably.
Yeah.
So let's talk Brentford. You lost in Buemo. Risa doesn't want to play for you anymore, and you lost an inspirational manager in Thomas Frank.
You lost Norgard.
The way Brentford,
Yeah.
yeah, you also lost Noga to
And lost
Arsenal. Thanks for
let
bringing
lost
up
the
that.
goalkeeper as well.
You
So okay,
lost
so
your
before I talk
goalkeeper.
more on Brentford, I think there's a quick comment that Jide made. He said on an FPL note, we keep all he needs is one header and one chance, and that's a 9 points. We all know how he does. He's just crazy with that. So now, Keith Andrews, I don't think he's going to be good enough to be in the Premier League much longer. Because even after losing someone like Mbad, he has not even shown in the transfer market that any ambitions. Obviously, Thiago Rodriguez was the player that was signed to. He had a long-term knee injury that kept him out for a long time. But obviously, he lost someone like Flecken. Flecken was a very good goalkeeper. And he bought Kelleher.
Yeah.
So choose. What do you think about Brentford's recruitment so far this summer?
Wow. Have they made any recruitments? That's the question. I don't.
Yeah, they signed Kelleher, they signed
Yeah.
Milambo.
So that's the
You
thing.
know,
Nothing inspiring from the recruitments, to be honest, because I look at them and all I see is relegation, frankly speaking, right? I've not been inspired by
Mm.
the business they've done.
No, but then again, if you have Wolves, you have Burnley. Okay, so will Brentford
No,
be
I
your
didn't. I
third?
didn't. I didn't. I didn't mention Burnley. He did. Uche mentioned Burnley. I see.
Okay.
I see Brentford as one of the teams going to be relegated.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay, so let's go to the surprise of the week.
Mm.
Sunderland 3, West Ham 0. So going into this game, my expectations were very simple. Jared Bowen will do what Jared Bowen does best, score against weaker teams. Then they cross the ball, Mayenda puts it in the net 1-0. Don't worry, Bowen is still going to do something again. Another cross, Ballard with the bullet header 2-0, and Isidore 3-0. What the hell happened in the Stadium of Light?
I think it was a case of taking chances, right? West Ham had a few good chances in the very first 15-20 minutes, and if one of those chances went in, then the game would have come out differently. But the moment Sunderland scored, I think everybody knew what was going to happen. It was probably going to be sit back and then try to counter, but it didn't even happen like that. Like they kept coming out. West Ham also kept coming out, but I just feel like the signings Sunderland have made, right, has been really brilliant, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the move to change their captain to a proven captain in
Xhaka.
Xhaka, right? Someone who can galvanize the
Mm-hmm.
team to, to do wonders. That was a very solid move
Yeah,
as well.
I'm still surprised with that move, leaving Leverkusen to Sunderland.
Yeah,
I'm still shocked with that move, though.
yeah. People make those kind. I mean, he's at the end of his towards his, I mean, he's approaching the end of his career, right? So maybe he wants to do something
Yeah,
magical.
my guy still go out with a bang.
Exactly.
I agree.
Do something
So
magical.
let's look at the last game of the game week, which is between Leeds and Everton. That happens tomorrow. What are your thoughts on Leeds? Do you think that they're going to do as well as they did in the championship, or are they potential foes that are going to go back?
Well, Leeds play very well, right? They play very interesting football, but I think Everton has recruited smartly as well, right? They've done some very good attacking reinforcement. I fancy them
Yeah.
to, I fancy them to play differently this season. You look at Everton, and ordinarily you are seeing a defensively solid team, right? But this season, I don't know. I don't know what to expect from them, but I'm looking forward to seeing an Everton that tries to break down teams, and it's no longer high ball and long
Which
ball and
one? Yeah.
so with those smart signings, I think they'll get a good result against Leeds.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So now let's go to the next section of the stream, which is the player of the week. So there are three numbers, and I want you guys to just say 5 things about those players. Then we will choose who our number one is. So starting with this person, Richarlison. Give me 5 things about Richarlison that he did in the game that you loved. 5. Starting with you, Chooks.
I think his doggedness. So Richarlison is a dogged player, right? He's always going to
1.
be there, right? He was quite what's the word, instinctive. You see that instinct
2.
to do that flying bicycle kick, that was brilliant. He's
Mm-hmm.
relentless. Maybe that's similar to
3.
being dogged, but he's a relentless player. Richarlison.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get up to 5 now with Richarlison? I don't know if I can get up to 5, but those three for me stand out.
Okay, cool. So Uchi, what about you? What are the 5 things that Richarlison did about the game that that made him stand out?
Okay, sorry, you hear my inverter crying, so I think I'll just leave you for after this. Let me go and get the alternative source of
Sort it
power.
out.
So, first of
Yeah,
all,
that's fine.
Richarlison is instinctive. That's his first attribute.
Mm-hmm.
He's rugged. He does not give the defender any minute space. He presses very
Mm-hmm.
well. It's a pressing machine.
Mm-hmm.
He will press all the 90 minutes. And then this one may not be so good, but he has that touch of, you know, that touch of he loses his temper. You can see that he's trying to not get angry sometimes. So I
Yeah.
think that's important for these South American players. Aggression is part of their game naturally. So that's that for Richarlison.
All right, thanks. So looking forward to having you back when you sort out the power
Okay,
issues.
thank you.
Cheers. So the next one on the list here is Ellen Haaland. So in the game against Wolves, let's drop it down to three things this time, since five was a bit too much.
Yeah, Haaland is a beast, man. That's a beast right there. That's 4 consecutive seasons he's scored in the opening game of the season. He's
Mhm.
clinical. Although he had like what six,
One.
7, 8 shots, but got just two. But I mean, we all know Haaland is clinical. He's he's a beast, right? And now he's becoming a leader in the team, right?
Yeah.
He's one of the leaders in the team. So those three things are the things that I see with Haaland. Being clinical,
Okay.
beastly, and being one of the leaders.
Okay. So and the last one, three things about Semenyo.
Semenyo has pace. He's very rapid. Has so
Mhm.
much tenacity. And he has a good shot in him. Whether it's his left foot or his right foot, he has that good shot in him. So yeah, also very defensively solid. So maybe I've done one more for Semenyo now, making it 4.
Oh, awesome. Okay. So let's just quickly have a look at the Premier League table after the first game. I want to you see early doors here. But you can see the likes of Brentford and Burnley and West Ham and Wolves comfortably being the position that we expect them to be. And there's just Manchester
Yes,
United, who is 15th. So I guess,
familiar position.
yeah, I guess some things never change. And of course, we have
Yeah,
Crystal Palace and Newcastle, who are like in the mid table. And at the top of the league right now, Man City has a very good goal difference. As expected, they have 3 points and they're on top. Now we have Sunderland in that position. So it brings my question to you. With the way Sunderland has started the league and the kind of nice fixtures they have, do you think they could still remain in the top half of the season come May?
on me, definitely not. No chance. No chance that they make the top half of the league. It's the Premier League. There's no chance, and I could take money on that. Wherever. I don't see them making top half,
Hmm.
right? There are too many solid teams to take them off that spot. So I don't see them making top half.
Okay. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So now let's look at the plans for game week 2. So all I need from you are score lines, right?
Wow.
West Ham, Chelsea. Be honest.
West Ham, Chelsea. I go 1-2.
Man City, Tottenham.
Uh, that's a tough one. I go 2-1.
Bournemouth, Wolves.
I go 2-0.
Brentford, Aston Villa.
I go 1-2.
Burnley, Sunderland.
I think that's the most difficult fixture to even predict. Burnley, Sunderland. I don't know what to expect. To be fair, ideally, I'll be expecting Burnley to win, right? But Sunderland has been a trouble for them recently, so I see maybe a score draw on that.
Arsenal, Leeds.
Arsenal leads. I'll say 3-0.
Crystal Palace, Nottingham.
Hmm. Another top fixture. I don't see too many goals in this one, so I will go. I will go maybe 1-0.
Everton, Brighton.
Everton, Brighton. Score draw 1-1.
Fulham, Man United.
0-2.
And Newcastle, Liverpool.
That's a top game. That's a top game. Ah, I'd say score draw as well. 1-1.
Okay. So that brings us to the end of the stream. Chooks, thank you so much for the hour and a half we had together in this series. I intend to do this on a consistent basis, so obviously I would love you to be one of the panelists when you have the time to be available. The idea I have in mind is to have panelists from different clubs so that to have like an unbiased approach, and of course peer. So thank you so much for being part of the stream. Thanks to everyone that was in the chat, Babajide, Kelechi, Echinedu, John Chikeze, and the rest. And we'll see you guys